Hey guys, it's been a while and I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time to kind of show off this set and some others that we'll talk about later, in video form. I just want to kind of go through it, unbox it, and check it out with you guys. So let's check this out. Hang on one second. Hold on. This thing's so heavy. Okay, there, I think I got it. So was that enough dramatic effect for you? Sorry, but yeah, this thing is pretty hefty actually, and many of you have seen this. This is old news, it's not new, but this is the Mill Creek Tales of Terror 200 horror film set, okay? And I want to take an in-depth look at this today with you guys, unbox it, unpack it, and just check it out and see what it's all about. Alright guys, sorry about the glare on this, but I'll get it to where you can see it a little bit better here in a second. But I thought first we'd just check out the packaging as a whole. And I thought Mill Creek did a really good job on this set. And if I can remember correctly, this came out a few years ago. Let's see here, I can tell you on the bottom if I can read it. 2013, so longer than a few years. This is several years old now, but you can still get it. And I believe you can still get it on Amazon. I've seen it on eBay and things like that. And it doesn't go for a crazy price or anything, but it's a great set to have where you can get a bunch of movies at your fingertips, especially if you're somebody who's starting a horror collection or something like that. But I've always been a fan of these sets that collect a bunch of movies together. They're great to pick up and take with you on vacation if you're going on a trip, something like that, because you've basically got 200 horror movies ready to watch in a box right here, right? So a lot of these things are public domain. Many of them are not. They're actually really good films that have already come out on Blu-ray and things like that. The transfers aren't always the greatest. Some seem to be VHS rips and different things, but they're all watchable. And some of the transfers are better than others. Some actually look pretty good. You have discs in here, which we'll take a look at, that are single discs with a few movies that have artwork. And also we have some double-sided discs as well. And many of the discs also are part of other sets. And it looks like some of the discs were actually taken from those sets and put into this one. And I'll show you a couple of those sets at the end of the video as well. And again, I like collecting all of these multi-pack sets. I just think they're a fun thing to have and to collect. I have many of these movies on, other formats and things like that. But just as a little display piece and something to dig into. They're great for that. So let's start with the packaging here, and I'm going to start just so you can get a better look at it by taking off the lid. And the lid here to the box is actually three-dimensional. And again, I'll try to do this without the glare, but as you can see there, really cool kind of 3D look to it, where it's just basically that 3D that's kind of different pieces cut out. And you can see, I think it's Boris Karloff. Those are his eyes there in the back, but it says 200 movies, 50 discs, over 260 hours. And I believe it gives you an exact runtime, which we'll look at in a minute. What I love is the attention to detail they actually took the time to do on this set. And you can see here on the inside of the box, there's even a little write-up about the box set to kind of introduce you to it. And I thought I'd read that to you, and also I'll show it if you just like to pause it and read it yourself. But it says, when you were younger, did you have trouble falling asleep at night because something frightened you? Perhaps it was the dark, something you thought was living inside your closet, something you imagined was hiding under your bed, shadows that played across your window curtains. Did you have scary dreams about being chased by creatures too frightening to describe to your parents after you screamed out for their help? Motion pictures have been trying to capture these and many other terrifying images onto the films for years. Since the early days of cinema, tales of terror and the macabre have been depicted on the screen to the delight of horror audiences everywhere. The styles of portraying these gruesome sights may have changed over time, but all the films have one common goal, and that's to frighten you. This collection of movies contains selections from 70 years of filmmaking and features some of the most iconic actors in horror film industry: Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, Paul Naschy, John Carradine, Todd Slaughter, Barbara Steele, Peter Lorre. And that's just a few of the stars you'll find in these 200 terrifying tales. Vampires, zombies, werewolves, creatures from the darkest nights, creatures from beyond the stars, and more can all be found in this amazing collection. Feel free to come along with the rest of the villagers to track down the monster, but don't forget to bring your own pitchfork and torch. You can leave the light on while watching these stories of the damned and undead if it makes you feel safe. So that's just a fun little write-up I wanted to share with you guys. And again, you can read that on the inside there as well. So, but yeah, that's it. The other rest of the box is kind of just weathered looking and things like that. We'll get into the inside of it in a minute, but I'll show off the sides of the box here. So let's turn it up like this. On this side, it does have a list of all the films, which it's actually probably, if you pause that, a little bit easier to see. And I am going to go through these films and just read them off to you guys. I won't talk about anything in detail or anything like that, but listed 200 films right on the outside of the box. On the back here, it's cool because it's got this awesome artwork with some of the stars that are on some of these, or in some of these films. Really cool stuff. And then this is, I believe, the rest of the list on the other side. Yeah, so the rest of the list is on the other side of the box as well. And then on the top here, you've got, it says Tales of Terror on the top. And then I thought it was cool because they even did artwork on the bottom as well, which is really cool. I like that picture and that attention to detail there. And again, this is from Mill Creek, and it is 260 hours and 54 minutes, and in black and white and color film. So let's take a look inside the box now. So inside the box, when you pop that lid open, you can see they come in like these paper sleeves. Not the best, packaging. I've thought about getting some of those fabric CD sleeves. I think that they would fit in here, and putting those in instead. I think I could probably find some black ones, but these are just those paper sleeves, which we'll look at. But before we do that, it comes with this really cool book. And what I thought was so cool about this, it's got Nosferatu there on the back, is it's got each film and which disc they're on. So it tells you disc 1 and then the films, as you can see here. But then it's also got a description of the movies as well, which I thought was really cool. So if you're not sure about what a movie's about, you could read about it in here and decide if you want to watch it or not, which I've done with this book actually several times. So for example, you could look up The Sadist on disc 4, and it tells you, it was made in 1963, it's not rated, it's in black and white, it tells you who a few of the stars are, and then it's got a little write-up on the film there, which I think is really, really cool. That's a nice touch that they added to this as well. And I love this image on the back page there also. So really cool little book that kind of navigates you through the set. And then when you look at the discs here, you can see they come in these paper sleeves that just have an open end on them like that. And you can see, the artwork through the inside there. And like I said, I think I need to put in some of those cloth type sleeves, but we'll pull this disc out and get a little bit better look. So this says disc 1, so it is disc 1. And it tells you that this one has Crucible of Horror, Double Exposure, Horror Rises from the Tomb, and the Dungeon of Harrow, or the movies that are on this disc. And some of you may recognize this because this is from another set, which I'll actually pull some of those out. I believe I have it, and I'll show you in a minute. And not all of these films in this box are duplicated on other sets. Some of them are only, on this set. From what I could see, I did compare it a little bit to some of the other sets. So, and like I was saying, a lot of them do have artwork that's similar to that. But then, see if I can find one here for you by flipping through. You do have some, mark my place so I don't lose it there. You do have some double discs, double-sided discs as well here. So you can see it's got two sides, like the old school double-sided discs. And it tells you, the movies are written on here on each side. So this one, side A, has Murder with Pictures and the Stranger. And then side B has Murder at Midnight and Kansas City Confidential. So I did mention too, there are, different types of films. Most are horror, but there are a few sci-fi type films and some film noir mixed in here as well. So they kind of all fall under that category. But now I thought it'd be fun if we kind of read through these movies, and I won't spend any time. I might mention a few or comment on a few that I think are hidden gems or really good, but reasons why you should probably definitely pick up this set. All right, so first here we have, and this is going to be, I'm going to start, let's see. This is just a list of the movies, so it's not necessarily telling you which disc they're on or anything like that, but let's just go through it real quick and you can kind of get an idea of the films that are on here. So Alien Zone, The Amazing Mr. X, The Amazing Transparent Man, Anatomy of a Psycho, The Ape, Atom Age Vampire, Attack from Space, Attack of the Giant Leeches, The Bat, The Beast of Yucca Flats, which that's a fun one if you haven't seen it, Belle from Hell, Black Dragons, and some of these movies I've never seen either. So, and I dig into this set every once in a while to check things out. The Blanchardville Monster, Blood Sabbath, Bloodlust, The Bloody Brood, Bloody Pit of Horror, Bluebeard, The Body Beneath, The Brain That Wouldn't Die. That's another fun one. A Bucket of Blood. That's, a famous film most of you are probably familiar with. Bulldog Drummond Comes Back, Bulldog Drummond Escapes, Bulldog Drummond in Africa, Bulldog Drummond's Peril, Bulldog Drummond's Revenge, and Bulldog Drummond's Secret Police. I don't know anything about what those films are about. We'll have to check that out. So Carnival of Souls, The Corpse Vanishes, and Carnival of Souls is, it's a masterpiece. So The Corpse Vanishes, Count Dracula and His Vampire Bride, Creature from the Haunted Sea, Crimes at the Dark House, The Crimes of Stephen Hawke, Crucible of Horror, great movie, Curse of Bigfoot, another good movie, Dead Men Walk, Death in the Shadows, Death Rage, Death Warmed Up, Dimension 13, which I actually think is an underrated film. I remember the other day I was commenting on somebody's post on Instagram about that. That movie needs more love. It's just one of those public domain films that I feel like has gotten kind of lost in the shuffle of all the other ones. So The Demon, great movie. Detour, The Devil Bat, another good one. Devil Times 5, that's a great movie. Devil's Messenger, Devil's Nightmare, Devil's Possessed, Dr. Jekyll and the Werewolf. I've never seen that one. Don't Answer the Phone, love that movie. Doomed to Die, Double Exposure, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Dr. Tar's Torture Dungeon, Dressed to Kill, Drive-In Massacre, that's a good one. The Dungeon of Harrow, The Eerie Midnight Horror Show, The Embalmer, End of the World, Evil Brain from Outer Space, Fangs of the Living Dead, The Fatal Hour, Frankenstein 80, Funeral Home, that's a good one. The Fury of the Wolfman, The Ghost, The Giant Gila Monster, The Gorilla, Grave of the Vampire, Great Guy. I wonder what that one's about. So, Green Eyes, Guru, The Mad Monk, Hands of a Stranger, Hands of Steel, Haunts, The Hearse, Horror Express, Horror Rises from the Tomb, Horrors of Spider Island, that's a fun one. The House by the Cemetery, classic, obviously. House on Haunted Hill, The House That Screamed, How Awful About Alan, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I Bury the Living, I Eat Your Skin, The Incredible Petrified World, The Indestructible Man, Invisible Ghost, It Happened at Nightmare Inn, Kansas City Confidential, Keep My Grave Open, The Killer Shrews, Kung Fu Zombies, which is a movie, but this is King of Zombies, okay? So, Lady Frankenstein, Land of the Minotaur, The Last Man on Earth, Last Woman on Earth, and The Legend of Bigfoot. So that does it with the first side, if you're not bored yet. But I still, like I said, I know it's redundant. Some of you may be like, really, you're going to read all these off? But I just thought it'd be cool for you to get an idea of what's on here. Excuse me while I drink some Liquid Death. Not sponsored. I wish I was, though. It's really good water, if you haven't tried that, by the way. So, all right, so side 2, and I'll be done. Little Shop of Horrors, good movie. Long Hair of Death, I actually love that movie. I have the rare release of that. It's really good. The Mad Monster, Man in the Attic, Manfish, Maniac, Manos, Hands of Fate. That's a winner. So, The Manster, one of my favorite titles, The Manster. I love that title. So, Medusa, Messiah of Evil, good movie. Metamorphosis, Metropolis, Midnight Manhunt, Monster from a Prehistoric Planet, The Monster Maker, The Monster Walks, Monster, The Moonstone. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Mr. Motto's Last Warning, Mr. Wong, Detective, Murder at Midnight, Murder at the Baskervilles, Murder at Television, by Television, The Murder Mansion, Murder with Pictures, Mutant, I love that movie, or Forbidden World, is the other title. My Mom's a Werewolf, The Mysterious Mr. Wong, Mystery Liner, Naked Massacre, The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave, Night Fright, Night of Bloody Horror, Night of the Blood Beast, good one. Night of the Living Dead, of course, you can't have a set without Night of the Living Dead on it, right? I collect Night of the Living Dead releases. I think I have a video on here from years ago where I showed them off. It's ridiculous. There's so many Night of the Living Dead releases. So, Nightmare Castle, Nightmare in Wax, The Nightmare Never Ends, Nosferatu, Oasis of the Zombies, that's a crazy movie. It's ridiculous. One Body Too Many, The Oval Portrait, Panic, Passenger to Bali, The Phantom Creeps, The Phantom from 10,000 Leagues, Phantom of the Opera, and many of these that are like the ones you recognize the title of, like Phantom of the Opera or Nosferatu. They're like the silent version or from the 20s, things like that. So, Point of Terror, Radio Ranch, The Revenge of Dr. X. Last row here, Revolt of the Zombies, The Sadist, which The Sadist is crazy. That movie's way ahead of its time. If you've never seen it, I recommend checking it out. Satan's Slave, Scared to Death, Scarlet Street, Scream, Bloody Murder, A Scream in the Night, The Screaming Skull, The Severed Arm, Shadow of Chinatown, The Shadow, International Crime, The She-Beast, Sherlock Holmes and the Secret Weapon, A Shriek in the Night, The Sign of Four, Silent Night, Bloody Night, good movie, Sisters of Death, Slash Dreams, Snow Beast, Stanley, Star Odyssey, The Stranger, A Study in Scarlet, Swamp Women, The Telltale Heart, Terror, Terror at the Red Wolf Inn, Terror by Night, Terror Creatures from the Grave, Terror in the Jungle, The Terror, They Saved Hitler's Brain. Why would they do that? The Thirsty Dead, The Ticket of Leave Man. Too Late for Tears, Tormented, The Triumph of Sherlock Holmes, The Undertaker and His Pals, The Vampire Bat, The Vampire's Night Orgy, War of the Robots, Warriors of the Wasteland, Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory, Werewolf of Washington, The Werewolf vs. Vampire Women, Werewolf Woman, White Zombie, great movie, The Witch's Mountain, The Woman in Green, and lastly, The World Gone Mad. So if you're still with me and listen to all that, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, this is a really cool set. And, you know, for the money, I think when I bought this, it was like 30 bucks, honestly. It was really cheap for 200 movies. I mean, do the math on that. I don't remember how much it is right now. Hang on, let me do some research. I looked on Amazon. There were only a couple of listings, which there used to be many more, so I haven't looked for this in a while. And they were from other buyers. They weren't Prime or anything like that. And they were going for over $100, which I thought was kind of strange. It was only a couple. So then I hopped over to eBay and I looked at the prices were kind of all over the place. And I looked at a bunch of the sold prices and it was going anywhere from $40 to $60. So really good deal. So you could probably snag this for anywhere from 40 to 50 bucks. And if you think about how many movies you're getting for that, and it's a really cool box set, that's a pretty good deal for something like this, especially if you're trying to beef up your horror collection. This is a way to do it, right? So there's a bunch of great classic films on here. I highly recommend it. There's a bunch of films on here that I love and I would highly recommend. You've even got some Fulci and stuff like that on there, which is really cool. So definitely recommend this set. I hope you enjoyed looking at it with me. It's fun to kind of unbox and look at things together. I know there's probably a ton of unboxings of this already from back when it came out, but maybe this will bring some more attention to it again with some people who maybe had a new group of people who haven't seen this yet. So Mill Creek is doing great things now too. I really like their company. They've been putting out some really good releases and stuff like that. I'm always excited to see what's coming next from them. There are some other sets too like this. There is a Grindhouse set, which I'm going to show off in a different video, and also a Western set, which I'll show off in a different video as well. And they're set up just like this, which is really cool. The Grindhouse set's a lot of fun. It's got some fun movies on there. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's good to be back and doing a video for you guys again. I'm hoping to do this weekly now. I'm not going to commit to that, but I really would like to. Got busy and you know, was taking a break, work on myself and stuff like that. But this is something I really enjoy because I get to share kind of my passion for movies with you guys who have that passion as well. So anyway, let me know if you have this set and what you think of it, and also you know, if you saw any films on here that you thought were important ones that people should check out. You know, share those in the comments below. But definitely hunt around for it. It might be on Macari and stuff like that to hunt around for it if you'd like a copy of it. I'm sure you can find one out there and get a good deal on it as well. And you know, at the end of the video, before I leave, I want to show off a couple of the other sets that actually have some of the films that's on this one as well. Okay, so real quick before we go, this might look familiar because it's the cover of some of those discs that were in that box set. And this was their classic features 50 movies of pure terror. And this, you can see the back there. I won't read them off and bore you guys. But this one had a lot of films that were also on there, but it has some films that aren't on there as well. So it's a good set to have. And this one you can get for pretty cheap also. But as you can see, some of the same discs that are in the big set come straight out of this set. And then we have this one as well, which is 50 horror classics. And this is the anniversary edition. Really good set. It's got a lot of good films on it. Also, these are both from Mill Creek as well. And these are in these, which I thought this was cool. They're in paper sleeves, but the sleeves actually tell you what's in, you know, what movie is on each disc or what movies, and has that synopsis and stuff on the sleeve itself. So that was a cool idea. Anyway, two other cool sets that you can get for your collection. And again, there are some crossover films, but there are also some films that are only on these sets as well. So again, good ones to grab when you're traveling or just want to, you know, grab it, sitting in bed, check out a movie, throw it in and watch it. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and I will catch you guys with another video soon. Take care.